Howdy everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's on the Tube, or welcome back if this is your second Walker Season 3 episode review. I apologize for the little delay, everyone. It's been a very busy week here for me. Went to go see Black Adam, get them at the Stargirl, so everything got pushed back a little bit. But we'll be back next week with our normal schedule. I don't know why I'm trying to speak in an accent. I really don't know. I can't. Actually, I should be saying that for Walker Independence, which I have not yet watched yet because I had so many things going on in my life, so I apologize. But anywho, this week on Walker, honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. It was a little tense. It was a little like, okay, kind of rushed a little bit, but you know what? It was all good. It was all a really good episode. Not as strong as the premiere, in my opinion, but it was still good. Still good. It's a little notched down. To be honest with you, yeah, this kind of felt like part 2 of the premiere instead of like its own standalone episode. And I ended the episode, last week's premiere hoping that, okay, this will be interesting, do something different with the formula. It may have ended up just being like, okay, we just extended it by 1 week, but you know what? They still broke the formulas, which I'm like, for me, it's all good there. It's all good. But but other than that, I think this was just still a strong episode. They're definitely leaning to this more like dark, brooding type of category, which I hope it doesn't overshadow the show. Hopefully we don't get to the end of season 3 saying like, oh, it was way too dark and season 4 is going to go back to more family friendly stuff. I really hope we don't do that. I think it's just like the right balance of things. And especially by the time this episode ends, like I know the physical events are over, but I kind of hope as like a story perspective, the emotional aspects of it will continue going for a while longer, however long that might take. But you know what? Let's just talk about it. I can't really tiptoe around this anymore. Let's go through the Butcher recap and talk about this week's episode of Walker. So we begin where the last episode kind of left off. So Liam is now stuck with Cordell. They're using him as their new tool to try and, get Walker to snap and kind of be broken a little bit so they can do whatever the hell they want. To him, of course, Cordell is like happy that, okay, it's not just me anymore, but like he's so mad, like, why is he here? Like, he shouldn't be here, but like he is here. So I'm like, he's here now, so we gotta keep going. He's like now worried that like his brother's being sent in here. We cut back over to the Texas Rangers HQ. It's just all hands on deck to find Cordell, especially for Cassie, who's like really doubling down on her search on it. I believe, yes, so her brother gives her a call saying that, oh, hey, by the way, I was supposed to meet Liam for breakfast this morning, but he didn't show up. His phone's kind of dead. No, his phone's off. Nothing. This isn't like him already. I wouldn't be worrying about this since we just started this kind of situationship, as let's call it for now, and he's just worried, and like, obviously Cassie's worst fear is that it can't be too coincidental that Liam goes off the grid at the same time Cordell's kidnapped. And once Captain James hears about this, like, no, not now. We don't need this. It does suck. It really does suck. But, now they're like, okay, now we got to find both Walker brothers. We need to find them now. And we're going to bring them back home because, like, we're not going to allow this. Like, okay, if it's one of us, okay, fine. We can hold on to our own. But when you bring in family involved, that's a big no-no. So we got to find them now. So it's all hands on deck there. Stella shows up as well to kind of, voice again from last week that she wants to help. She's an adult now. Again, you just graduated from high school less than 48 hours ago. That doesn't make you an adult, but okay, I appreciate the moxie here, Stella. I appreciate the moxie. But she wants to help, and obviously James is trying to, like, breach the fine line of, like, yes, if you want to help, that's great, but also, I know your dad. Your dad would kill me if I let you, like, actually be involved. Plus, I don't even think she could be involved since she has really no experience in this field. But he puts her on, like, phone duty. Like, if anyone calls in the tip line, then she could take the calls. And, again, it's not a lot, but it's something. It's something to, keep her going, keep her a little motivated. So he leaves her there. I want to say, yeah, so Cordell is, like, already prepping Liam for, like, what's to come. Like, they're going to use you to torture me psychologically so that I eventually would break, but obviously we're Walker bros. We got this, man. We got this in the bag. So the guards come by, they drop off Liam a MRE meal for him while Walker gets taken away to meet the big boss, the big head honcho. And, you know, he's already, like, trying to woo him with, like, some steak, some nice sauteed potatoes, some nice vegetables, an energy drink for some fucking weird reason. Kind of gives Walker a little bit of PTSD for some reason. We'll get to more about that in a second. Walker denies the dinner. He's like, just get to it. Like, man, like, I know you're trying to butter me up. Like, it's, just get to your point. And he reviews they're not, what's in there? I forgot what the terminology they use, but basically their whole plan is to rechange the system, rechange everything. And one of the things is that they want to create a power vacuum, and then they want to be the ones to fill that hole. And what that requires them to do is that, one, they want to take down the Texas Rangers by throwing in a Trojan horse, i.e. Cordell. Originally, that was the other captain over from season 2. That was his job, but he failed when he got caught and then committed suicide. But they know Cordell's not going to do that because Cordell is from the Army. He's been through a lot, and he could be a valuable asset to them. Of course, Cordell just says, fuck off, I'm not going to do this for you. Like, I'll never do that for you. Like, yes, we have problems. The system will always have problems for now, but there are still good people out there doing good work. I'm not going to destroy that just to satisfy your needs. And he's like, okay, I'm going to play it like that. I'm going to get what I want. It's like Barney from How I Met Your Mother. I always get the yes. However long or painful that's going to be, I'm going to get that yes. So they take Cordell back before he gets one more good look at the energy drink, which we get a flashback to when Cordell was in the Army back when he was in his 20s. So he's, I think they were in Afghanistan, I believe. I think it was that war. I believe so. I could be wrong about that. He's off play fighting with some soldiers for some money. He's not doing so hot, so one of his friends kind of tells their sergeant to kind of break it up for them so that, you know, he can maybe win some money, give him some like last minute advice. It works. He gives Cordell like a little lesson of like, you know, don't follow things textbook. You know, it's got to be by experience. It's got to be by instinct. You know, just look at the situation, read the situation, then, you know, assess what your next move is going to be. So Cordell uses that advice. He applies it to his next fight. It works. He wins, which is good news for him. So eventually we cut back over the present day. Yeah, so everyone's just like kind of like handling this in their own way. Everyone's just trying to like just maintain hope that, you know, Cordell will come back. He always comes back. Of course, Grandma Walker's still pretty much gone. Like, she's just accept the fact that, like, yeah, this could be the last time I see my son. That could have been the last time I seen him, and she's accepting that. And Grandpa Walker's is trying to do work around the house, just trying to take his mind off and not really dealing with the situation at hand here. So, again, people are handling things in their own way. Eventually, Stella does get an answer on the tip line. This woman who's just, you know, trying to, like, string her along, like trying to give like a vague description of Walker, trying to like say like, hey, I got a really big lead. Like I saw them when they took them, which I'm like, brah, you did not see when, like that is private property / mostly private property. Like I don't think anyone's just gonna randomly hitchhike over there. Like it's kind of really impossible. But Stella, you know, blindsided by like, you know, she's trying to find her dad. She's trying to get him home. She doesn't really pay attention much to that. She's just trying to figure out what is the right way to approach it. She wants to ask Captain James, but he's busy like actually handling the real investigation stuff. So she decides, you know, yes, there is a reward. You can get some money. And she's like, perfect. And then like, I'm assuming from that point, like Stella now realizes like, yeah, to get this information that she has to get some money, which I'm like, well, that's not really how tip lines normally work, to be honest with you. And it's much more secure. Again, this is exactly why you need an official Texas Ranger or some sanctioned worker for the Ranger to do this thing, because Stella literally had no idea how to process the situation. We'll cut back to more of that about that later. Walker returns from his brief lunch day with the leader, but he finds Liam already on the ground, he's already had a torture session. The electronic batons that they used on Cordell earlier, it really left the mark on Liam. He was not trained for this at all. And Cordell's already fearing the worst because, like, you know, again, like Cordell's trained for this. Like, he can handle like a lot of attacks, but Liam is not physically trained for this. Like, he's fit, but he's not, like, the amount of torture he's gonna go for. Like, he's not ready for that. So that's already like a big sign of like, yeah, Cordell, like, this is not gonna end well if they don't get out of this situation pretty soon. We get to see where Grandma Walker is at the bed, just kind of like just to her thoughts, just kind of trying to process everything in her own way. Grandpa Walker passes by her. He says, okay, I'll let you do your thing. And she kind of snaps a little bit, like she's not really happy the way he's handling things too. Like, it's like every time that every time he's trying to, like, they've had this type of moment where like they have to worry about their sons or like something dire is happening to their family, he doesn't really tackle with his emotions. He just kind of keeps acting like everything's fine and kind of keeps walking away. And at first he's just trying to, like, just say like, that's just how I grieve, that's just how I operate. But she's like, don't bullshit with me, like, just don't. Like, this could be the moment we never see our sons again. Like, you can't just look me straight in the face like that's just your way of grieving. And Eamon's like, yeah, he is grieving. He's like not handling this well. But the thing is that I've always done my way, and there's always been a mother for his kids to like really go to for this sort of thing. So like he never had to worry about it. It's like the insurance of like, he just keeps playing the big macho role of like making sure everything is going to be fine when the situation is over, which is appreciable, but it's not healthy to keep that all in. So it having that moment definitely helps them out with their marriage, kind of like understanding each other, even at this stage of their marriage, like still understands them, learning more about each other. Stella tears apart her room trying to find $200 worth of like petty cash around to like give to the woman. Again, this should be a big red flag for here. Like, Stella should not be giving this money to her. It should definitely be the Texas Rangers coming out of whatever budget they have. But she's trying to like, again, angsty to find that. She wants to be the one to like get him back home. Again, I don't even know what she's supposed to do with this information, but okay, sure. August walks into her room, asking what the hell's going on. She just says like, yeah, I have to do this thing. It can lead to that. I just need $200. He submits and under the condition that he gets to go with her, like, to whatever this information drop is. Because again, this time around, they got to do things together. They are a family. And at first she says, no, you don't have to. And he's like, yes, I do. Like, he's my dad too. I need to be there. And either way, you need backup. So they agree on that. So they get the money. They go drive off to this, again, a parking lot. Like, this is not, like, at least do it on Ranger property. At least, like, come on. Like, again, Stella, I understand she's blindsided by trying to just get her dad back home. I understand that, but still, like, come on, you don't really need that, or you don't really need to go in that direction. Yeah. So after that point, I want to say, yeah. So actually, no, we're still on this scene. I don't know what I'm talking about. They both arrive with the lady, and the lady's, again, the moment she starts asking, "Where's the money?" I'm like, yeah, this is clearly not an honest citizen. This is a woman trying to flip some easy cash. But when both of them refuse to give her any money until she gives them the information, two guys come behind August. They kind of jump him a little bit, kind of hold him, like, not like hostage, but like just kind of keep him in arm's length, like, you better give her the money and then we'll give the information. Otherwise, we're punching this guy out. At first, like, Stella's like, like, just the moment she realized, yeah, you didn't have any information for us. You just want $200. And again, the method that they're doing, like, they call the tip line for a Ranger. And again, one of the things that kind of hurt their case is that August admits to, like, yeah, the Texas Ranger is their father. They knew, like, oh, he's your dad. Like, she knows for sure, like, you're gonna do whatever you can to get your dad, even though I don't have anything for you. Like, but I will get that money, because not only will you not get the money, I actually beat up your brother. And obviously August and Stella try to fight back, but again, these are two grown individuals with weapons to a kid that's barely, I think, had any combat training. Yeah, August gets taken down pretty quickly, and they take out a knife. And again, I can't believe they're doing all of this just for $200. Like, if you really think about it, these three people are freaking stupid. Like, they literally are only doing this for $200. They were willing to stab a 16-year-old kid just to get $200. Like, bro, I'm pretty sure Walker's going to have a heyday about this. Like, obviously, I'm pretty sure, like, knowing these kids, they're not going to tell him probably. They're going to keep this to themselves for a while. But, like, still, you're going to stab a kid for $200. Like, bro, why? But Stella understands the situation. She knows her brother's safety is more important to her, so she gives them the Cadillac as kind of like, it's $10,000. It's way more than you wanted. Just take it. Just leave us alone. So they leave. They dip with no information given. So, like, yeah, basically they got schemed. Cassie, meanwhile, has an idea of, like, since they're not really finding any leads, they eventually find out that one of the license plates they used to kidnap Walker is a match for something that Miles, Cassie's old partner, was investigating back when he was, like, trying to figure out this whole corrupt cops thing. it's a match to one of the license plate he figured out. So she knows like this has to be connected somehow. So let me go talk to Miles. Maybe he has some information for us that we could probably use to go find Walker. And James is like, okay, yeah, the idea is solid, but considering the fact he's under Fed protection, he's about to get transferred to witness protection. There's a lot of legal loopholes you got to cross. I got to get approval. And she's like, it's going to take a couple of weeks that, you know, they don't have. Like the information that he had could be enough to bring them back home. So he's like, you know what, just be on standby. We got to do this by the book. Yeah, we, you know, but this is not worth, you know, well, it is worth your career, but like, you know, you shouldn't, like, we'll find a way. Cassie, of course, being the person she is, doesn't listen. She enlists her brother to go, drive out to, I think, the holding place that they're keeping her brother. They managed to trick their way into, like, distracting them long enough for her to, like, sneak through to go get to Mile, which, again, he's got his own gym. I'm like, what this production sounds all right. Sounds all right to me. She just talks to them about, like, the whole matter, like, and trying to ask him, like, is there anything you could tell me from your research about who could possibly know who kidnapped Walker and everything? But eventually the feds kind of discover her. They're about to arrest her, but Miles just keep going. He's explaining that there was a woman, there was a journalist that was on to something pretty big that kind of was related to the thing he was investigating about the dirty cops. So he gives her the name and is like, okay, that should be who you need to go after to go find, you know, Walker. So, yeah, so that's enough information for her. But however, she already gets cuffed and taken away before then. Later that night, Liam is clearly like he's getting sick over like I'm pretty sure he got an infection from the baton and he's having a reaction. He's just not feeling so well. Cordell's is trying to keep him awake, but of course, obviously it's pretty dire. Like, you know, they don't have any medical assistance here. So Liam could die here, but the fact of the matter is they don't care. Like, they know Liam is going to die to get what they want. And so Cordell's like, they're really up against the timer here. Like, they need to get out of here now. That's the priority. Cassie gets let go because James calls in a lot of favors to get her out of it. He's not happy with her at all. He's at least thankful that they got some sort of lead out of her, out of the whole incident, but he literally says, like, I cannot trust you right now. Like, I can't even leave you alone without you just doing something to break the rules or getting me in trouble. So they go to the journalist's house. They find she's like got like billboards and like connect the dots to like potential leads and like what's the connection here. And, you know, they're just assuming like she was onto it like hardcore until she got kidnapped or taken away because she told the family and the workplace two separate things to get her to be away for a while. So that's not good at all, to be honest with you. However, eventually when they're looking for her notes and everything, there's one little connection to an asylum that supposedly she checked in for, but the asylum's been shut down, so they decide to use that as like they're probably holding them there, so they all head up to that location. I think we just cut to the next morning where Cordell's just trying to like, you know, get help for Liam, that, you know, he's like down, he's really sick, and at first they're like, you know, holding him down, and I'm like, this is not how Liam goes. This is not how Liam goes. This is not how he dies. But no, it's a coup. Both of them take down the 3 of the guards. They lock them into the cage. They get away with the key, and they have to go find the woman, which turns out to be the journalist that Cassie and James eventually found out. So they got to go rescue her in the basement. So they head down there. They go find her. She's a little bit like, you know, shocked at first because I'm pretty sure she's been there for quite a while, but and it also was like the first time she saw human contact that wasn't like in a bodyguard suit or anything. They get her out. They start running towards an escape door. They find one in the parking garage. They're about to leave, but the regular guards start coming in, so they hide behind the some pallets, and they're about to leave. But before they get the opportunity to leave, Cordell finds some very ominously marked nuclear boxes in front of them, and the symbol they use reminds him of when he was in the army. There was a weapon that they had possession of that was very similar, if not with the same logo, that could cause a lot of damage if they were to use it. So now cutting back to here, it's like he knows, like, okay, if they have these weapons, they're willing to kill probably innocents to just get that power vacuum that they want. And he knows, like, if they were to keep them, they're fucked. So by the time they make their escape, you know, he tells Liam, just get away from here. Like, I gotta take care of this thing. Like, I promise you, I will be back. I will return. So by that point, that's when James and Cassie find out that, yes, this is probably where they're holding him. They see like guards and everything in an abandoned property, so they know like he's probably there. So they start heading out there. Cordell packs up all the nuclear weapons and it's about to lead them into like the rheology lab because apparently they have one in that place. As well as the same time, I guess they just flip the evacuation switches as well, so everyone's like getting the hell out of there, except the leader who notices Walker, and they have a brief fight, and it matches up to when Walker had the fight back in the army with the advice piece he got later on. So he uses that to kind of recreate the fight. And again, the way they were framing that, I thought they were going to say that this guy was one of the people in Walker's platoon. But then again, like, Walker didn't immediately recognize him. So I was like, okay, they're not going to do that route. But it would have been an interesting tie-in, but it didn't end up happening. Walker eventually gets the upper hand. He dislocates his shoulder with a pole. So he continues onward to the rheology lab. He gets back up, but since he doesn't really have a gun and everything, Walker decides to say, screw it. He just goes straight into the rheology lab. Liam and the journalists are about to escape, but they get cornered by some of the guards. Thankfully, Cassie and James show up at the same time to kind of, help them out, save them, and now they're focused on getting Cordell back. Cordell heads into the X-ray room, presumably to let them explode or something. I really don't know what the plan was here. They approach the building, all of them. However, the building explodes. They fear the worst, that Walker died. Thankfully, he didn't. All he did was get some more minor injury. I was kind of scared. I was like, are they going to kill off Walker? Like, the show's called Walker, so like you can get away with anyone being called Walker on the show. So I'm like, are they gonna kill Cordell? And I hope not. Like, because a lot of the Jared Padalecki fangirls are gonna probably abandon ship by the time he's gone off the show. But no, he survived somehow. He basically walks away from a nuclear attack unharmed from that front. So I'm like, yeah, plot armor for you. He reunites with everyone. It's all sweet. He's all happy that, like, he's alive, and then he's gonna be able to like see his kids again. Again, I found it any second now. Was there going to be a guard that's going to shoot him last minute? Like, was that going to happen? And I was like, thankfully not. Like, thankfully that didn't happen. And he thanks the journalists. He hugs Cassie. He hugs James. And the first thing he's going to do is get a cheeseburger. No, it's not Iron Man. He's just going to go hug his friend, his kids. And I believe, yeah, that was it for this week's episode of Walker. So again, I apologize if this was like really butchered, but it is what it is. But yeah, no, so for me, on the general sense, in terms of like the overarching plot, I was a little bummed out. Like, I feel like there would have been potential to let Cordell like balance both sides of like having to be a mole in terms of like a forceful mole for these people. I think that was the story I was expecting, or keeping Cordell in longer in the prison. It would have been fun, not fun, but like interesting to see him like kind of like deal with the emotion. I don't know, like usually I'm the type of a person that like, let's stretch out the idea the proper amount. I feel like I would have really liked to see a moment where Cordell was like literally done. He was just about to snap and then they saved him. Like, he didn't reach that point in this episode. He was close at times, but he didn't cross that that threshold that they needed for him to cross. They didn't. So I feel like that was my only iffiness in the fact. Again, I am appreciative they didn't solve this entire thing in the premiere. I think like that would have been too quick and simplistic to do so. So the second episode's all right too. So I'm like, yeah, probably fine by the end of the day. The other thing is that I really hope the aftermath of like the mental effects this entire experience give to Cordell and Liam will kind of haunt them for a while, even though this group is taken down for now. Especially for Liam, since like another near-death experience in his lifetime. This man cannot catch a break. The Walker kids, it's gonna be interesting to see how they're gonna handle it. I know next week's promo did tease about it. The car being into play, them getting the car back. But for this week, they honestly worked together as a team, had their own self-sufficient, not progressive, but like trying to be progressive plot line. And I learned the lesson, kids. I never trust anyone on the internet until you actually meet them and they don't scam you out of money. So. Please know that before anything else. And I believe other than that, yeah, I was not that much sure this week. Cassie actually crossing certain lines. Will it come back to like haunt her? Who knows? I hope it doesn't. And yeah, it was nice to see them thankfully safe. No one was hurt really. No major casualties. Thank God. We don't need that early in the season. We don't need warnings on Twitter or Instagram already on the second episode. We don't need that yet. But honestly, other than that, like I really enjoyed it. It wasn't as strong as last week's, and but it does give me hope that more episodes that come out are gonna like continue the aftermath, like the mental aftermath that these events have occurred. So yeah, so I'm gonna give this episode 1.5 thumbs up. Still enjoyed it, just not as good as the last. But let me know in the comments below, what did you think of this week's episode of Walker? Let's start that conversation down below. And I believe that's going to do it for me today, everyone. So if you're unaware, this has been What's the Two from ActionX, reviewing every episode in the 3rd season of Walker. If you want to know what we're doing normally, What's the Two, besides our Walker episode reviews, we're currently doing Walker Independence episode reviews each and every week after brand new episodes on for Thursday nights on the CW. We're also doing the Rookie episode reviews each and every week after brand new episodes on ABC on Sunday nights. We're also doing the Rookie Feds episode reviews each and every week after brand new episodes on Tuesday nights on ABC. And we're also doing DC Stargirl episode reviews each and every week after brand new episodes on the CW every Wednesday night. But if you don't care about Walker, you're in luck. We'll be back next week, Friday, on our usual time slot. So don't worry. Again, sorry we're a little delayed, but things happen. Things very much happen in this world that is out of my control. But again, this has been What's the Two from ActionX. Please subscribe to us on youtube.com/ActionX videos. Ring that bell for notifications when our next episode reviews live. Please also like, favorite, share this review if you want to. Ring the bell and follow us on social media. But until we see each other again, for all you Texas Rangers out there, I'll see y'all next week. But until then, stay safe out there, be good to each other, and as always, peace out.